Good day, everyone. Life is an unpredictable journey, and one of the most profound truths we encounter along the way is as people suddenly change. Whether it's friends, family, colleagues, or even those we hold dearest, the dynamics of relationships are never guaranteed. Today, I want to talk about embracing this reality and preparing ourselves to survive and thrive even when we find ourselves alone. That change is one of the few constants in life, yet it often catches us by surprise. Whether it's the way people think, the choices they make, or the relationships they maintain, nothing stays the same forever. Accepting the inevitability of change is a critical life skill that can help us navigate the complexities of human connections and personal growth. It is not merely about resigning ourselves to the unpredictability of life, but about understanding it, embracing it, and preparing ourselves to adapt. This mindset can alleviate unnecessary pain and enable us to approach life with resilience and grace. Resistance to change often leads to unnecessary suffering. When we cling to the way things used to be, we set ourselves up for disappointment. The pain of loss is intensified when we refuse to acknowledge that change is a normal and even necessary part of life. For instance, consider a job you love that no longer feels the same because of management shifts or evolving workplace dynamics. Holding on to the past and wishing things would revert to how they once were only prolongs the discomfort. Similarly, in personal relationships, holding on to an outdated version of a person can prevent you from appreciating who they are becoming or letting go when the relationship no longer serves both parties. Accepting change doesn't mean we have to like it, but it does mean we acknowledge its presence and learn to move forward. Another aspect of accepting change is understanding its role in personal growth. People evolve because they are exposed to new ideas, experiences, and challenges that shape their worldview. What someone valued 5 years ago may no longer resonate with them today. This growth is not inherently negative. In fact, it often leads to a more authentic expression of self. Similarly, we too are constantly changing. The person we were a decade ago might feel foreign to who we are now. This realization should help us extend compassion and understanding to others who are undergoing similar transformations. By embracing change in ourselves, we create space to accept it in others. It is also important to recognize that not all change is sudden or unexpected. Some changes are gradual, creeping in so slowly that we barely notice until a significant shift has occurred. These gradual changes often give us more time to adjust, but they still require acceptance. For example, watching a loved one grow older and transition into a different stage of life is a gradual process, but it still necessitates adaptability. The same can be said for shifting societal norms, economic conditions, or technological advancements. By learning to anticipate and adapt to change, we equip ourselves to handle both the slow and the abrupt transformations life brings. Another strategy is to seek growth in adversity. Change, especially when it feels sudden or unwelcome, often carries valuable lessons. It challenges us to reconsider our assumptions, adapt our strategies, and discover strengths we didn't know we had. For instance, losing a job might initially feel like a setback, but it can also be an opportunity to explore new career paths or develop skills that lead to greater fulfillment. Similarly, the end of a relationship, while painful, can provide a chance to reconnect with your own needs and values, paving the way for healthier connections in the future. In conclusion, accepting the inevitability of change is not about passively allowing life to happen to us. It's about actively engaging with the reality of transformation. It's about understanding that change is a natural part of life, appreciating the growth it brings, and developing the resilience to adapt. When we learn to see change not as a threat but as an opportunity, we free ourselves from the fear of the unknown and step into a more empowered and fulfilling way of living. By embracing change, we discover that we are far more capable and resilient than we ever imagined. Change is an integral part of life, and its inevitability touches every aspect of our existence, especially our relationships with others. It's natural for people to evolve as they encounter new experiences, adapt to challenges, or simply grow into different versions of themselves. While this process is a normal part of life, It can be difficult to accept when it affects our connections with those we care about. Accepting the inevitability of change is not just about preparing for what might happen, it's about learning to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and resilience. People change for many reasons, and often those reasons are deeply personal. For example, someone might experience a shift in their priorities due to new responsibilities, career advancements, or personal growth. They may outgrow certain habits, relationships, or mindsets as they pursue new goals or align themselves with a different vision of life. These changes may not align with your expectations, and that's okay. Acknowledging that people are shaped by their unique journeys can help you avoid taking such changes personally. They are not necessarily a reflection of how they feel about you, but rather an expression of their growth. This perspective can ease feelings of disappointment or betrayal when someone you know changes unexpectedly. Resisting change is a common reaction, especially when it involves someone we care about. It's natural to want things to stay the way they are, especially if those circumstances bring us comfort or joy. However, clinging to the past can create unnecessary suffering. Holding on to a static image of someone, a version of them that no longer exists, prevents you from appreciating who they are becoming. It also stifles your ability to grow alongside them or, when necessary, to let them go. Accepting that change is inevitable allows you to release the weight of expectations and embrace life as it unfolds with all its unpredictability. The inevitability of change is not limited to sudden or dramatic shifts. It also encompasses gradual transitions. Over time, people evolve in ways that may not be immediately noticeable but become apparent when viewed over months or years. These slower changes can sometimes be more challenging to recognize because they don't come with clear moments of transformation. For example, a close friend might slowly drift apart due to differing life paths, and it can feel like an unnoticed loss. Acknowledging that such changes are natural parts of life can help you adapt without holding on to feelings of regret or resentment. Accepting change also involves embracing its role in personal growth, yours and others. Change often pushes people to confront new realities, reevaluate their choices, and step out of their comfort zones. It can lead to greater self-awareness and deeper understanding, both of oneself and the world. For instance, a friendship that ends might leave you with valuable lessons about boundaries, communication, or shared values. Similarly, witnessing someone else's transformation might inspire you to reflect on your own growth and consider ways to evolve in your own life. One of the most empowering aspects of accepting change is that it allows you to approach life with greater flexibility and adaptability. Instead of fearing the unknown, you begin to see it as an opportunity for exploration and discovery. This mindset can reduce anxiety and help you respond more constructively to unexpected events. For example, if a trusted colleague leaves a workplace unexpectedly, you might initially feel destabilized. However, accepting that their departure is a natural part of their journey can shift your focus toward new opportunities for collaboration or personal development. Embracing change doesn't mean becoming indifferent to your relationships or detaching from others. On the contrary, it means valuing the present moment and cherishing the connections you have while understanding that they may not last forever. This perspective can deepen your appreciation for the people in your life and help you create meaningful memories with them. It also prepares you to move forward with gratitude and peace when those relationships shift or end. Practical steps can help make the process of accepting change less overwhelming. Cultivating self-awareness is a crucial first step. By understanding your own tendencies, fears, and needs, you can better navigate your reactions to change. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation or journaling, can help you process emotions and gain clarity about your experiences. These habits encourage you to live in the present and focus on what is within your control. Another valuable strategy is to focus on your personal growth and independence. When you build a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful on its own, you become less dependent on others to maintain your sense of stability and happiness. Pursuing hobbies, setting personal goals, and investing in self-care can all contribute to a stronger foundation of resilience. When change inevitably occurs, you'll have a solid sense of identity and purpose to rely on. Finally, surrounding yourself with a supportive network can make navigating change more manageable. while accepting change involves internal work. Having people you trust to share your feelings and experiences with can provide comfort and perspective. Whether it's friends, family, or a community group, these connections remind you that you're not alone, even as life shifts around you. In conclusion, accepting the inevitability of change is a vital skill for navigating the complexities of life and relationships. It's about recognizing that change is a natural part of growth, both for ourselves and others. By embracing this reality, we can reduce unnecessary suffering, build resilience, and approach life with greater openness and adaptability. Instead of fearing change, we can learn to welcome it as an opportunity to grow, evolve, and discover new possibilities. Change is one of life's only constants, yet it often feels the most disruptive. The inevitability of change, especially when it comes to people, can profoundly impact our relationships and the way we view the world. Learning to accept this reality isn't just a matter of emotional resilience, it's a crucial skill for navigating life's unpredictability. It enables us to face challenges with grace, adapt to evolving circumstances, and find peace in situations we cannot control. People change for countless reasons. Personal growth, external influences, life-altering experiences, and shifting priorities are all part of the human journey. Someone who once shared your interests or values might no longer feel aligned with them, not because of animosity, but because they've evolved. For instance, a childhood friend who was inseparable from you might drift away as they pursue different dreams or move to a different place. This doesn't diminish the bond you once shared, but reflects the natural ebb and flow of life. Accepting this helps you appreciate the memories you've created without clinging to an unchanging image of the relationship. One of the hardest aspects of accepting change is the emotional toll it can take. When someone you care about shifts in a way you didn't expect, it can feel like a loss. You might grieve the version of them you knew, even if the change wasn't harmful. This is a natural response, as relationships often form a significant part of our identity and emotional support system. However, holding on to the past or wishing things were the same can prolong this pain. Accepting that people change, not necessarily for better or worse, but simply because they are human, allows you to process these emotions healthily and move forward. Resisting change can often lead to greater suffering than the change itself. When we cling to the idea that things should remain the same, we set ourselves up for disappointment. For example, in a romantic relationship, one partner might grow in ways the other cannot relate to, creating a rift. Instead of viewing this as a failure, recognizing it as a natural divergence can help both individuals move on with respect and understanding. Similarly, in friendships, holding on to a version of someone that no longer exists can lead to frustration and resentment, both for you and for them. Acceptance frees you from this cycle and opens the door to new opportunities. Another important dimension of accepting change is understanding that it's not just others who evolve, we do too. The person you were years ago might feel vastly different from who you are today. Your priorities, interests, and values have likely shifted as you've encountered new experiences and challenges. Recognizing this within yourself can foster compassion for the changes you see in others. After all, if we can grow and change, it's only fair to expect that others will too. This mutual understanding can lead to healthier relationships and less resistance to the natural course of life. Embracing the inevitability of change also helps us focus on the present moment. When we stop clinging to the past or worrying about what might happen in the future, we create space to appreciate the here and now. Relationships become more meaningful when we value them for what they are in the moment, rather than what we hope they'll always be. By letting go of unrealistic expectations, we can find joy in the connections we have without the fear of losing them. A critical part of accepting change is learning to adapt and grow from it. Change, even when it feels disruptive, often brings valuable lessons. For example, losing a close relationship might teach you about your boundaries, communication skills, or the qualities you value most in others. Similarly, professional changes like a shift in leadership or the end of a job might push you toward opportunities you hadn't previously considered. Each change, whether welcome or unwelcome, carries the potential for growth and transformation if approached with the right mindset. Developing tools to handle change can make the process less overwhelming. Mindfulness is one such tool. By practicing mindfulness, you can stay grounded in the present and reduce the stress that comes from ruminating on the past or fearing the future. Journaling can also help you process your emotions and gain clarity about the changes you're experiencing. Writing down your thoughts can reveal patterns, helping you understand what's within your control and what isn't. Another practical strategy is building a strong sense of self. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you become less reliant on others to define your identity. This doesn't mean isolating yourself, but rather finding balance in relationships. By valuing your own growth and priorities, you create a foundation that remains steady even when the people around you evolve. This self-assurance enables you to face change with confidence. Lastly, surrounding yourself with supportive relationships can help you navigate the challenges that come with change. While accepting the inevitability of change involves internal work, having a community of people who uplift and encourage you can make the process feel less isolating. Sharing your experiences with trusted friends or family members can provide perspective and remind you that you're not alone in facing life's transitions. In conclusion, accepting the inevitability of change is about embracing life's dynamic nature. People will grow, circumstances will shift, and relationships will transform, sometimes in ways we can't predict. By letting go of resistance and learning to adapt, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and open up to the beauty of growth and renewal. Change is not something to fear, it's an opportunity to learn, grow, and discover the strength within ourselves to navigate whatever comes our way. Change is a fundamental aspect of life, and nowhere is this more evident than in the relationships we build with others. People change sometimes gradually, other times suddenly, and these changes can redefine the dynamics of our connections. Accepting this inevitability is not always easy, but it is essential for emotional well-being and personal growth. By understanding that change is a natural part of human existence, we can navigate life's uncertainties with greater strength, resilience, and grace. People change for a myriad of reasons. Life experiences, personal growth, shifting priorities, and external pressures all play a role in shaping who we are. Someone who was once deeply connected to you may embark on a journey that leads them in a different direction. This does not diminish the value of the relationship you shared. It merely reflects the fluid nature of human existence. For example, a close friend who once shared your every thought may now prioritize their career, family, or new interests. These shifts, while potentially painful, are a normal part of life. Accepting them allows you to focus on cherishing the memories you've created rather than mourning the changes that arise. One of the most challenging aspects of accepting change is managing the emotions that accompany it. When someone we care about changes in a way that creates distance or disconnect, it can feel like a loss. This emotional response is entirely natural, as relationships often provide a sense of stability and belonging. However, holding on to a static view of people, expecting them to remain the same as they were, can lead to disappointment and frustration. Accepting that change is inevitable helps us navigate these emotions more constructively, allowing us to process them and move forward without resentment. Resisting change often creates more pain than the change itself. When we cling to the way things were, we create a sense of false permanence that can be shattered by reality. For example, in a long-term relationship, one partner may grow in ways that no longer align with the other's vision of their shared future. Denying or resisting this evolution can lead to prolonged conflict or heartache. By accepting that change is a natural part of life, we can approach these situations with compassion and understanding, allowing both individuals to grow in their own ways without unnecessary strain. Change is not just something that happens to others, it happens to us as well. Over time, our own priorities, values, and interests shift, sometimes in ways we don't even recognize until we reflect on the past. This self-awareness can help us extend the same understanding to others. Just as we grow and evolve, so do the people around us. Embracing this mutual evolution fosters empathy and strengthens our ability to maintain meaningful connections, even when they take on new forms. Accepting the inevitability of change does not mean becoming indifferent or detached. Instead, it allows us to appreciate the present moment more fully. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we begin to value our relationships and experiences as they are, rather than what we hope they will always be. This mindset shifts our focus from control to gratitude, enabling us to engage with life in a more open and authentic way. For example, instead of fearing the end of a friendship, you might treasure the time you have with that person, knowing that it is valuable regardless of its duration. Another way to embrace change is by recognizing the opportunities it brings. While change can feel disruptive or unsettling, it often opens doors to growth and new possibilities. A friend who moves away may inspire you to expand your social circle, or a partner's changing interests may encourage you to explore your own passions. Even when change feels like a loss, it often carries lessons that can help you grow stronger and more adaptable. Viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat shifts your perspective and helps you navigate life's challenges with greater resilience. Practical strategies can also help make the process of accepting change less daunting. Developing emotional resilience is one key approach. This involves building the capacity to adapt to unexpected circumstances without being overwhelmed by them. Practices such as mindfulness, meditation, and journaling can help you process emotions and gain clarity about the changes you're experiencing. These tools enable you to focus on what you can control your reactions and mindset while letting go of what you cannot. Another important strategy is cultivating independence. Building a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful on its own reduces reliance on others for stability or happiness. Pursuing personal goals, hobbies, and self-improvement creates a strong foundation that can withstand the changes that occur in relationships. When you are secure in yourself, you are better equipped to handle shifts in your connections without losing your sense of identity or purpose. Finally, seeking support from others can make navigating change easier. While accepting the inevitability of change involves internal work, having people to lean on during transitions can provide comfort and perspective. Sharing your experiences with trusted friends, family members, or a counselor can help you process emotions and gain insight into your journey. Surrounding yourself with a supportive community reminds you that even when people change, you are not alone. In conclusion, accepting the inevitability of change is a powerful way to navigate the complexities of life and relationships. It allows us to approach change with understanding, adaptability, and gratitude rather than fear or resistance. By embracing the reality that people grow and evolve, we can find peace in the knowledge that change is not something to fear, but a natural and essential part of life. With this mindset, we can face life's transitions with resilience, appreciating the beauty and growth they bring along the way. Change is an undeniable aspect of life, deeply woven into the fabric of human existence. It occurs in relationships, circumstances, and within ourselves, often in ways that are unexpected and sometimes challenging. Accepting the inevitability of change, especially in people, is essential for personal growth, emotional well-being, and resilience. It requires us to adjust our perspectives, embrace uncertainty, and find meaning in the transitions that life presents. People are constantly evolving. This evolution is shaped by experiences, challenges, ambitions, and shifts in values. For example, a friend who once shared every detail of their life with you may grow more private as they develop a new sense of self or navigate a different phase of their journey. Similarly, a family member or partner may prioritize goals or interests that diverge from the bond you once shared. These changes can be disorienting, but they are natural. Understanding that people change because they are responding to life's dynamics helps us approach these moments with empathy rather than resistance. Resisting change is a common reaction, particularly when it disrupts our sense of control. We may find ourselves wishing that people and situations could remain constant, offering the comfort of predictability. However, this resistance can lead to frustration and a sense of stagnation. For example, a colleague who once collaborated seamlessly with you may shift their focus toward different projects or ambitions, creating a new dynamic. If you resist this change, it can strain the relationship and hinder your ability to adapt to the evolving workplace environment. Accepting that change is inevitable allows you to adjust your expectations and find new ways to engage meaningfully with others. Change is not limited to others. It is an integral part of our own lives as well. Over time, our interests, goals, and values evolve, often in response to the world around us. Recognizing this within ourselves fosters compassion for the changes we see in others. Just as we grow and adapt, so do the people we interact with. This understanding helps us approach relationships with more empathy, realizing that growth is not a betrayal, but a natural progression of life. When we embrace our own changes, we become more open to the transformations happening in those around us. Accepting change also encourages us to focus on the present. When we let go of the need to preserve relationships or situations as they once were, we create space to appreciate what they are now. This perspective allows us to value the time we spend with people and the experiences we share. even if they are temporary. For instance, knowing that a friend might move away or that a phase of life will eventually end can heighten our gratitude for the present moment. It shifts our mindset from fear of loss to appreciation of what we have. Another important aspect of accepting change is recognizing the opportunities it brings. Change often carries with it the seeds of growth, learning, and new possibilities. For instance, a relationship that ends might lead to a deeper understanding of yourself and what you value in future connections. Similarly, a career shift might open doors to new challenges and accomplishments that you hadn't previously considered. By viewing change as an opportunity rather than a setback, you can transform potentially painful experiences into meaningful growth. Developing strategies to manage change can make the process less overwhelming. Emotional resilience is one such strategy, allowing you to adapt to life's uncertainties with greater ease. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, or journaling can help you process your emotions and maintain clarity during times of transition. These tools encourage self-awareness, helping you focus on what is within your control rather than dwelling on what is beyond it. Building a strong sense of self is another powerful way to navigate change. When your identity and purpose are rooted in your own values and goals rather than external circumstances, you become more adaptable. Pursuing personal growth, setting goals, and investing in your passions create a foundation of stability that supports you even when life around you shifts. This sense of independence helps you face changes in relationships or circumstances without losing your sense of balance. Seeking support is also vital during periods of change. While accepting change involves inner work, having a trusted network of friends, family, or mentors can provide perspective and encouragement. Sharing your feelings and hearing others' experiences of navigating change can remind you that you are not alone. A supportive community can offer strength and insight, helping you find your footing even in uncertain times. In conclusion, accepting the inevitability of change is a vital skill for navigating life's complexities. People will grow, relationships will shift, and circumstances will evolve, often in ways we cannot predict or control. By embracing change with empathy, adaptability, and a focus on personal growth, we can transform challenges into opportunities. This mindset not only helps us cope with life's uncertainties, but also allows us to thrive within them, finding meaning and strength in the dynamic nature of existence. Change is an inherent part of life that often comes unexpectedly, especially when it involves the people around us. Whether it's a close friend, a family member, or a colleague, everyone goes through phases of change. People evolve due to various factors, including personal experiences, growth, or shifting circumstances. While it can be difficult to accept, understanding the inevitability of change is essential for maintaining healthy relationships and a balanced perspective on life. By accepting this fact, we can better prepare ourselves to navigate life's changes with resilience, openness, and grace. People change constantly, and this evolution is a reflection of personal growth. As individuals encounter new experiences, they learn and adapt, leading them to make different choices or develop new interests. A person who was once very extroverted may become more introverted as they grow older or undergo significant life events, while someone who once had little interest in certain activities might develop new passions. These transformations, however, can create tension in relationships. When we become attached to the way someone was or the dynamics that existed, we can feel threatened or confused when they change. But understanding that growth is a natural part of life allows us to accept these changes without fear of losing the connection entirely. While the people around us are changing, so are we. Over time, our own values, priorities, and needs shift. A significant career change, a new life experience, or even just the passage of time can influence who we are and how we relate to others. Just as we might expect others to accept our personal growth, it's crucial to extend the same understanding to those close to us. Change in relationships doesn't always mean the end of a connection. Instead, it can be a new beginning. The challenge is learning how to navigate these changes while preserving the core of the relationship. The inevitability of change also teaches us about the importance of flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and resisting change can often lead to frustration or stagnation. When we allow ourselves to adjust and adapt, we become more resilient to whatever life throws our way. Whether it's a change in the people we interact with or a shift in our own circumstances, those who embrace change are more likely to thrive in uncertain situations. A flexible mindset helps us focus on finding solutions and learning from the experiences that come with change rather than becoming overwhelmed or defeated by them. Another key aspect of accepting change is recognizing that growth often comes with discomfort. Change can be difficult and unsettling, especially when it involves letting go of old ways or beliefs. However, it is often through these challenging moments that we grow the most. Whether it's overcoming a difficult period in a relationship or learning to cope with a change in our social environment, these challenges provide valuable life lessons. Embracing discomfort as a natural part of the process helps us develop emotional resilience and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. Finally, it's important to recognize that change can bring new opportunities. When we accept that things won't always stay the same, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and growth. Change often leads to the discovery of new experiences, relationships, or even personal capabilities that we may have never anticipated. If we resist change, we may miss out on these opportunities. Accepting change with an open heart and mind allows us to embrace life's transitions and see them as a path toward personal development and new beginnings. To navigate change effectively, it's helpful to develop coping mechanisms that support emotional well-being. Mindfulness and self-reflection are valuable tools in this process. By focusing on the present moment, we can reduce the anxiety that often accompanies change. Taking time to reflect on what the change means for us personally can also help us process emotions and identify the lessons to be learned. Moreover, nurturing a strong sense of self and a support network of friends, family, or professionals provides stability during times of transition. In conclusion, accepting the inevitability of change is a fundamental step in learning how to navigate life's uncertainties. People grow and evolve, and so do we. This transformation is not a negative occurrence, but a natural part of life's journey. By understanding that change is inevitable, we can embrace it with an open heart and mind rather than resisting it. Doing so allows us to cultivate resilience, adapt to new circumstances, and continue to build meaningful connections, even as the people around us change. Change is not something to fear, but something to embrace, for it is through change that we grow and discover new opportunities. In this world, people will come and go, and their sudden changes can feel like storms in your life. But remember, storms don't last forever, and they often leave the skies clearer than before. Be your own anchor. Embrace change and know that even when you're alone, you have everything you need to survive and thrive. Thank you.